There are times when you need to make multiple reservations for a group or rally that is wanting to stay at your park. The group reservation button, available from the main panel, provides the tool to do that. The option has several steps. The first is selecting or creating a group name and a group contact. Generally, the group contact will be a guest in the group that is staying at your park during the event or rally. The group contact does have to be a guest in the database. By entering a partial string of the contact's name, a list of potential guests are presented. You can use one of them or enter a new guest name. Once a group has been created, it can have as many events over time as you may need. The next step is the event or rally, which is several aspects that must be defined. The first is an event name, something to relate the event to. Next is an arrival and departure date, which defines when the guests or attendees will be staying at the park. You can specify a deposit, which can be assigned to the contact or each attendee. Just select the appropriate radio button. You will also need to determine how the guests will be paying. If they will only be there a few days, the daily payment type is appropriate. If they will be there for a week, use the weekly option, and so on. Next, determine how many sites of each type are needed. If all of the attendees need a motorhome site, just enter the number in the field, and you are done with defining the event. Just remember to save it before going to the Attendees tab. In the Group Attendees tab, the attendees are initially given bogus names, and the sites are not yet assigned. Typically, I assign their sites first. Since each park is different, you will need to select sites that are as close to each other as possible. Just right-click the Attendees site cell, and a list of available sites that match the event's criteria will be provided. In this example, all sites are motorhome. After all of the sites are selected, you may want to enter the names of all of the attendees, if that information is available. Once the sites are selected, you can save the attendees. That is, the attendee names do not have to be entered to save the attendees, only their sites. You can enter their names later. You may want to, at a minimum, enter the group contact name, especially if they will be handling the deposit for the event. If deposits are needed, you will be asked if the deposit amounts should be entered into the billing database, similar to saving a guest with a deposit. Once the attendees are saved, you will have the option to print a simple list of the deposits if there were any. After the attendees are saved, you can go to the reservation grid or maps panel, if you want, or just exit the group reservation panel. Note the grid or map attendees will have a gray background, designating them as part of a group. If you select one of the attendees, you will go to their guest panel information. Note there is a red flag denoting them as a group attendee. The red flagged text can be left-clicked to take you to the Group Attendee tab of the Group Reservation panel. Generally, an event will last several days to a week, so when you are ready to create the bills for the attendees, it should be easier to use the Group Attendee tab of the Group Reservation panel. There are two checkboxes to help create the bills: the Do Not Show Amount Paid on Bill checkbox and the Do Not Prorate checkbox. You can use these checkboxes to create a bill that best suits your needs and generate all of the attendees' bills at one time. If there were deposits involved in the event and the paid-through date is the same as the attendee's departure date, the deposit will be subtracted from their bill as a refunded deposit. You will be asked if the bill has been paid, so it can be added to the billing database. This is the best way to show the bill paid. You can do this by going to each guest in the guest panel and mark the bill paid, but the group tool is the easiest. The last step in the process is to check out the attendees. In the Group Attendees tab, the Checkout button will do just that. It follows the same process that the guest panel does, so you will be asked if there are any comments for the guest history. This will release the sites back into the pool of available sites and you are through with the group event. The next time this group wants to schedule an event or rally, you can change the contact name, if appropriate, add the new event with dates, deposits, and type of sites needed. Assign the sites to the attendees and enter the attendees' true names, and then perform the billing and checkout processes. This concludes the Group or Rally reservation feature.